Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of First Draft Diaries. So if you're new, definitely go watch episode 1. This is my video series that I'm doing where I document my process of writing the first draft of my fantasy book. So in the first episode, I basically started writing this draft. I started plotting, outlining, planning everything, and I got up to about 30,000 words. Currently, my word count is at 34,919. So I haven't really made much progress since that first episode, and that is because school has been kicking my butt. I set my goal for 90,000 words due on October 1st of this year, and today is September 8th, so I have less than a month to complete this first draft. And at the time, 90,000 words seemed very attainable, seemed completely possible. But I'm really disappointed to say that I think I'm going to have to lower that number. If you don't know, I am a full-time student. I'm currently in my last year of college as an English major, so I have a lot of homework to do still. I'm taking 5 classes. So for these past, I think, 3-ish weeks of school, I have really struggled to find a balance and create like a writing routine that works well with my school schedule. It's been really difficult. So that is my reason for not really having much progress since my first episode of this series, but I still want to document this and kind of keep you up to date on my progress as I near my deadline for the first draft. So I think it is really hard for me to change the number of words that I was aiming for because my reasoning behind 90,000 is that I felt like it would be a good amount of words that I feel like I have enough to build off of, and enough like when I go back and edit for the second draft, I feel like I will have enough content with the 90,000 words that like I won't have to catch up or like rewrite or write something new from scratch. My goal was to just write as much as possible, have as much content to build off of so that it would be easier on me for the second draft. But I think I'm just going to lower it to, I'd say, like 60 to 70,000 words. Yes, that is short for a fantasy book. I was aiming for 90,000 just because an average fantasy book is 80 to 100k words. But I think I'm just gonna have to settle for making it a bit shorter, a bit more bare bones, but really that's what the first draft is about. It's about getting the skeleton of your story on the paper. Really the only thing that is important for your first draft is getting words on the page and getting just like the bare bones of your plot. There's no need for details, for character arcs, for literally any of the fun embellishments that make books so great. You're just kind of getting your story out there. And that's definitely still been an issue for me. I've really struggled with like figuring out what my plot even is. And to be honest, I still don't know. So I have about 3.5 weeks until my deadline and I really need to make some progress. I need to aim to write about 30 to 40,000 more words before I hit approximately 60 to 70,000. Truly, I don't really care what the number is. I would just like to have as much of a completed draft as I can by October 1st. So this is my word tracker. This is where I've been writing the amount of words I've written each day that I write. The last time I did was on September 3rd and it's currently September 8th. So I need to get back into the routine, but I've had so much homework. It's been quite busy. And truly, I'm just so over this school stuff. The last thing I want to do is homework, but I have to graduate, so. But some exciting news is that I'm close to 35,000 words, a little less than 100 words until I hit 35k, which isn't like a big milestone, but that's pretty cool. And then the format that it's in is in like the letter format, and I know that books are in more of like an A5 format, but I just hit 100 pages on the letter format of this document, which is pretty cool. Like that seems like an actual book. This is the most I've ever written before. So I do need to applaud myself for that. Yeah, recently I've just been feeling stuck about the direction of the story. I feel like I don't really have that much of a plot, or like the plot I do have, it is so choppy and there's so many gaps and plot holes right now that I'm trying to let it not get to me because truly it's stressing me out, but that's for future Nora to figure out. Right now, we need to get it out of my brain. So the chapter I left off on, I have been skipping around, but the last chapter I finished is chapter 25, and I feel like that is a very pivotal scene. We introduce a new character. So there is kind of a shift going on in the story right now. There's a rift between some of the characters, and also I am keeping this very vague just because so much is going to change. It would be pointless for me to tell you what the story is about, what's going on with my characters, because it probably won't even make it to the final draft of this. But I think to cure me of my plot holes, I feel like I'm at a part now in the story where we're right before kind of the turning point, or we're at another turning point. And I know what the ending of this is going to be, so I feel like I could write the very last scene and then work my way back to chapter 25 where I left off on. So I don't know how much that will be, I don't know how many chapters that will be, but I have a lot of real estate to work with here, so I think that's what I'm gonna aim for, is writing like the very last chapter, the very final scenes, or what I think they will be. I have some homework I need to be doing tonight, but since I haven't written in a bit, I have time to do it tomorrow, so I'm gonna take a shower, get cozy, get in bed, and then have a little writing session. I definitely think doing sprints is what's going to help me get through the rest of this draft, because I cannot just like sit down and like force myself to do it, because I'm constantly thinking of either the assignments I need to be doing, or like I just want to read my book, or I want to crochet, or just do something other than writing this book. Basically, I'm just at the point where it's getting really easy to avoid it. This is when I need to push through. I cannot quit now. So please yell at me to keep going, please. I did get a haircut, but I wanted to just kind of just talk out loud for a bit, because I've been struggling this past week with where this draft is going because my current word count, just for fun, is 36,862. So I am nearing 40,000. Now, that is not much progress since my last video where I hit 30,000. And that's because truly I have felt really lost with where this story is going. I know what I want the ending to be. I know what the ending needs to be for like character arcs to make sense, for plot things. It's just how we get there that I'm really having an issue with. I feel like every writer has experienced this before, where it's like the midpoint of the draft is just like mush, like you have no idea what it is. It's easier said than done to write things to like fill those gaps, because like it doesn't have to make sense right now. That's the point of a first draft. This is like bare bones, you know, like things are obviously going to change. However, I would love to like just write something that makes sense. That way it doesn't feel like it's a complete waste of time, because if I write something just for fun, you know, I feel like when I look back on it and when I revise and make it feel like part of the story, it won't connect in any way. So I want it to make sense, but I don't know what it is. But I was sitting down to write just now with my boyfriend, and he was talking about how if I feel bored, my readers are gonna feel bored. And I think that's true. I mean, it is a first draft right now, so like it doesn't have to really work right now. But like if I'm feeling this way about the story, like where is it going, maybe my readers will. Like obviously it'll change a lot until the final draft, but I don't want that to be the way I continue writing the rest of this book because I still have so much left to do. And another thing that was really weighing down on me was the deadline I set, because I had set October 1st to be my deadline for the first draft. I had hoped to hit 90,000 words by then. It's currently September 16th, so the chances of that look unlikely every day. So I think that had been really getting to me as well, because I've just slowly been like building up the disappointment that I am going to face when I don't hit that. Like, I'm not trying to discourage myself, but like, really, how likely is it that I will hit 90,000? Because I'm spending all my time doing my schoolwork. So he was just like, just change your deadline. Like that, it's good that you set that because it helped discipline you and it helped you get in the habit of it. And I think it did. Like, I've really gotten in the habit of making the effort. Like, I need to write every single day and like making that consistent in my life. So that's been good. I'm glad I've done that. I think I've been placing too much emphasis on the actual deadline and not the actual love of the story and like writing it because I want to write it and not just because I need to hit my word goal or, oh, I need to make the deadline. It's not about that. Those things are important, but not as important as writing a story that I'm passionate about. And I feel like my feelings of being lost have really seeped into my passion for it, and I've kind of lost that a bit and I hate it. So where I'm going from here, I think, like, I did make a plot outline where I wrote down the gist of like everything that I need to have happen in book one, in this book that I'm writing. And so I know what needs to happen. It's just the small things. It's the small scenes. It's just the little moments that make up the big moments that get to me, because I don't know what makes sense. Like, I don't know what is going to work or what's not. And I know I won't know that until I write it. The thing is, I don't know what to write. And so I hate to just like, I don't know, I'm not gonna give up. I'm never gonna give up. I'm going to write this no matter what. I just feel like, I don't know, I don't want to rely on common tropes. I don't want to rely on things that are popular just to get it done, because I'm trying to write something that feels original and that feels true to the story that these characters have. Like, I'm not just trying to copycat ACOTAR or copycat any fantasy book that I've read before. Like, yes, I love things in them, but like, they don't need to do the same thing. But part of me wonders if just trying it would help me get through it and maybe I'll see a breakthrough. But I just don't really know. I think I need to do some like character work, see how their motivations and how their choices change them, and then what does that do for the greater plot. Because I just like, I say plot and I don't even know what comes to mind for this book. Like, I feel very lost. But I know what the ending is. I know where I want them to end up at the end of this first book. I know where we go in the second book, but that's not helpful right now. I think I'm going to unofficially change my deadline. Not that I'm going to be focusing on that. Like, yes, I will have a deadline, but like, it's not going to be, it's more of like a suggestion. It's more of like giving myself more time, extending the deadline, not as a way to punish myself or even like discipline myself. It's not really for me, it's for the book. It's because I need time to make this the story I want to make it. Not just to hit the number count. Like, that's important, yeah, but it's more so just to make this what I want it to be, and I need more time for that. I'm feeling just a lot of things right now, and I don't really know how to feel about it, because I really love my characters, and I really think I've set them up in a way that I'm proud of so far. I really feel like I have made them complete. Not complete in a way as like their story's over, but like I feel like I know them really well, but not well enough to figure out what actually happens with them. Like, yes, I've written some scenes that are, I feel like are pivotal, I feel like are really important to the story overall, but I also kind of feel like, why am I writing this? What am I trying to say? Like, it just doesn't, I feel like the dots are there, they just don't all connect, and I don't know how to fix that. So, sorry, I feel like I'm rambling. I just feel really lost. But yeah, I just feel like I'm still looking at it so broadly, and I'm kind of clueless as how to narrow it down and how to write specific, not like immensely detailed scenes, but just like the small moments, like the tiny little things that make the story move forward. Maybe I'm overthinking it, because truly I have written about 25-ish chapters right now, and like a lot has happened. Like, I can remember some small moments, but I still think I was writing it with the broad story in mind, so I don't know. I'm yapping a lot. I'm very sorry. I need to go figure this out. tired right now. I really can tell the days are getting shorter because it's not even 7 o'clock and I'm ready for bed. But I don't have any like official writing updates for you, to be honest. The past week or so I've kind of been taking like a little mental break from it, mainly because I was feeling really overwhelmed, as I talked about in my last like full ranty rambly clip. I felt kind of pressured by my deadline and I was just trying to figure out where to go from here because I felt like really lost in the plot. So for the past week or so I've been slowly plotting every single chapter. I've have like 4-ish, 5-ish bullet points for each chapter of like the things that need to happen. So I stopped at chapter 23, and it may not sound like it's a lot of chapters, but I really went in and like revisited everything I've written so far. So everything I've written so far is included in this chapter outline, but the like chapters I skipped or like the gaps that I had, I like filled in everything, like what I need to write and what I haven't written yet, just to make it seem more cohesive and make it like flow a bit better. I think I'm still going to continue like doing chapter outlines like from 23 onwards because there's still a lot that needs to happen, but I think the next step is writing the missing gaps and filling in the blanks that I had left when I like officially first started writing this. So I think my next step needs to be going back into the chapters that I skipped and kind of like fill in the blanks. I'm kind of scared to plot a bit more if it's more of like a guessing game, so I feel like if I make everything seem more cohesive and like, you know, like a plot, then it'll be easier to like do the rest of it. So I think tonight I don't really have much homework to do, so I'm going to take advantage of that and spend some time catching up, writing the missing scenes, and honestly reading a little bit because I've really been missing just like sitting down and reading a book. So I'm gonna do some of that, and I'm just not gonna put too much pressure on myself because I feel like something that I can see myself doing is like, you know, trying to make it all perfect. Like if I go back into a scene and it's an in-between chapter of 2 I've already written, I can see myself trying to make it fit. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna try and like write what comes out, what feels right in that moment. But I think my next goal, I'm no longer gonna say like deadline or anything because I feel like that word, like it places too much emphasis on it because the deadline was supposed to be in like 5 days. It was supposed to be October 1st, and you know, that's not happening anymore. So I think my next goal is to hit 50,000 words because I'm almost at 40,000, and I think once I hit 50 it will, some things will start to come together. Hopefully, I think by then I will have written a decent amount of things. And also I'm going to start like rewarding myself. Like it's not going to be anything too crazy, but I really want to buy some new books, but I'm not going to do that until I hit 50,000. It'll be like my reward, my treat for working hard and making progress. So I thought it'd be fun to choose when that goal is going to be, because I feel like the only way that I will get it done in a timely fashion is to like set a day for it. That's how I got this far, is by setting that day deadline. So even if I don't like officially stick to it, as long as it's in that time frame. But October is freaking crazy. That's why I wanted to have this done by October 1st, because I do so much this month. Yeah, truly, I don't know. So today's the 25th of September. I think I could do about 2 weeks to 50,000 with schoolwork and everything. I think that's doable. So maybe I'll set it to be due on the 12th of October. I think that's fair. Maybe even the 13th if I'm feeling like it. Like, I don't mean like this date is the end all be all. If I don't hit 50K by then, it doesn't count. You know what I mean? Like if I'm there, then I'm there. It doesn't matter when it happens. I just want that to be the ballpark time. So I'm gonna do some writing sprints tonight. I don't really want to hit a word count tonight. I don't really feel like setting a goal tonight because I haven't like actually written in a long time because I've been working on my plotting so much. So I think I need to really just get back in the zone, practice writing every day again. That's the habit I kind of fell out of. But I have really been feeling the urge to switch to a different project recently. I have a dystopian series that I've been sitting on. Honestly, it's just ideas right now, but I've been sitting on that for so long and developing it, and truly it feels a lot more like developed than my fantasy book right now. I don't know why, picture it so vividly in my mind. Like every single character, I know their arc, I know the whole like vibe of everything, I know most of the plot, I know the themes, like everything in that dystopian book series feels so, like it is fresh in my mind. Meanwhile, this fantasy project, it has taken a lot of time to make it feel whole because it really just, there wasn't much substance when I started. So I really felt the urge recently to switch projects and work on that dystopian one, but I need to kick that out the door, push that to the side because I need to finish a project. Like I'm not going to start dystopian books until I finish at least a first draft of this fantasy project. So that's been hard to deal with, but I think I just need to kind of fall back in love with my characters, have a fun little time, write a fun little scene, and I know it'll all come back to me. Having a funny moment while I'm writing right now. It's kind of silly. Also sorry for the lighting, but I'm writing, I decided to like start with the chapter, like the first chapter I needed to fill in. So it was chapter 4, like right at the very beginning. So it was kind of easy to go back and like get in that zone again and like get in that headspace like of the very beginning where nothing has happened yet. But I just realized it is low-key the inciting incident scene. Like, it kind of happens off the page, but it is the inciting incident for the characters. And it's, like, not good. Like, it is bad news that they're receiving. Like, it's really devastating for them. Yet I'm listening to a playlist called Who the F Did This to You? Enemies to Lovers playlist. As if I'm writing some crazy romance scene right now. But no, they are, like, you know, crying. Like, I feel like I should switch. I feel like I either need to switch the music or switch the scene. I just thought that was kind of fun and I wanted to note about that. So it has been really hard to write the past couple days because why does everyone give me so much homework all at once? Maybe I'm just not balancing it well enough, but like truly I think I'm doing a good job. It's just so much. I've really been struggling to balance my time. Not that I'm like procrastinating, like I'm doing things on time, but there's just so much that I'm always like feeling overwhelmed. So therefore writing has kind of taken the back seat recently and I really hate that. I really don't like it. But the other day I just wrote a chapter. It was a chapter that I had not written before. So this was after I like replotted and I'm kind of like filling in the gaps here. And it was such a good scene that I wrote. Like it was a part 1 and a part 2 of a scene. So like the first part is following my male main character and kind of getting more of like his internal dialogue and like his thoughts on like what's been going on because he's kind of like training alone. Like he's just kind of having a moment to himself. So that was really nice. I feel like I did a lot of good like diving into him as a character a little bit. And then the second part of the scene he runs into some other characters and it's like a chase scene. Like he's running down the hill in a like flower field and like chasing her and it was really just fun to write. And I was listening to the song from Interstellar, the cornfield chase, which is such a beautiful song. And it really just fit the vibe. Like I did not think that a song like that would fit my fantasy book, but I was like writing this and I was like, you know what this reminds me of? and I played it on loop over and over as I wrote the entire scene, and it was just such a fun experience. I really, really loved it. Really, that's where I've left off. So far I've like done 2 fill-in chapters, so chapter 4 and chapter 10, and I still need to do chapter 6, 7, and 14, and then I think I'll be like pretty caught up, and then I can like continue from there. And you know, they're not like fully complete scenes, like they're definitely not like perfect, and they don't flow at all. I'll have to work more on my transitions. I definitely noticed that it's kind of just like random scenes, like random ideas I have, but I know I want to include them. It's just kind of like how the time flows, how the time progresses in the story. That's what I haven't really thought about. I haven't really written that and fleshed that out yet, but that definitely comes later. So while I'm ending this video, my total word count as of right now is 39,229 words, and today is actually October 1st. When you are seeing this video, I've uploaded it like today, and this was the day that I had set to have my first draft done, and I really thought I would feel a lot more disappointed that like it wasn't done and that like I'm still working on it. But to be honest, I've been so busy that like it hasn't crossed my mind at all. I've had a lot going on. I feel like I haven't had the chance to like feel that disappointment, but also I don't think I'm like feeling that upset about it. Like, I'm still happy to be working on this story, and I'm happy to have more time to write and like time to like flesh this out the way I want to and not have to rush for any reason. So my next goal, like I said, is to hit 50,000 words, which will be my plan in the next 2-ish weeks. I really don't care for setting a timeline, but like that's roughly what I'd like to do. And I also really would like to get back on writing every single day, because even though I have like so much homework to do every single day and like I, you know, working, I have like my routine, my schedule, I need to find a way to like fit that in, even if it's like 20 words. I don't even care how much it is. I just want to maintain that habit of writing every day, because then it has the ideas that still flow, and like I don't feel like I haven't worked on it for a while, because that's recently how I've been feeling. It's like, oh my gosh, it's been a week and I haven't touched my draft, and I don't like that. I want to try and be consistent even if it's like a minimal amount. So I feel like this video has kind of been sporadic, and I feel like my progress hasn't been linear in this video, and like I feel like I haven't made much progress in this video, but this is the purpose of why I'm documenting this, is so I can look back on it and see like the struggles I had and see how I overcome them, and like what I have to do to make this work for me, you know, balancing writing with my lifestyle. But also I hope that this will be helpful for anyone watching if they are an aspiring author or they're a writer and they're going through the same thing. You're not alone, because it's been really hard. It's definitely like a universal experience, I feel like. So I hope this can be relatable, and also just show that like it is possible to write a book while you still have a busy life. Like I don't have a full-time job, like I'm not that type of busy, but it is busy in my own way. But I'm still really pumped. I'm motivated to get it done. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll keep an eye out for episode 3. I really don't know when it's going to be posted. And definitely comment what you're reading right now. If you're writing anything, what are you writing? I would love to know what other people are doing out there. And yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!